World News and Events COVID-19 on June 23. Note, this is a collaborative video made between Travel for All FanPage and Knowledge of Coronavirus channel. Please respectfully welcome everyone. The following is the remarkable news most on June 23 as follows. 1. American news. On the morning of June 22, exactly 3 months from the date New York City had to apply blockade orders, thousands of offices and agencies here were open to welcome people back to work, because New York City officially entered Phase 2 in the roadmap to reopen. However, the number of people allowed to return to work at the office, about 300,000, is still much less than the number of people who came to work at the time before the COVID-19 pandemic, because companies had to comply regulate social spacing and limits the number of people present at the same time in indoor spaces. The metro system, which used to be a popular and convenient means of transportation for New Yorkers, is still quite empty because of the fear of infection on public transport. Currently, the test rate positive for COVID-19 in New York City is about 1%, much lower than the rate of 60% in early April. 2. Update COVID-19 worldwide. According to Worldometers, as of the morning of June 23, Asia time, nearly 9.2 million people worldwide were infected with a new strain of coronavirus, with at least 473,184 of them died. However, the world also witnessed more than 4.9 million COVID-19 patients, equivalent to more than 53% of cases recovering from treatment. The total number of U.S. deaths as of early morning 23 June exceeded 120,000, reaching 122,588 cases, an increase of 341 compared to the previous day. The COVID-19 epidemic is showing signs of speeding up the attack in Latin America, with Brazil being the second largest outbreak in the world. By the end of June 22, the country had more than 1.1 million virus infections with 51,271 deaths. In Europe, Germany saw the number of new COVID-19 cases soaring over the weekend, exceeding what was needed to contain the epidemic in the long run. According to the Robert Koch Epidemiology Institute, RKI, the average COVID-19 infection index in the past 4 days is 2.88 for every 100 people who are virus positive. 288 more people will be infected, much higher than that. Infections of less than 1 are necessary for the German to successfully translate. In Asia, the Korea Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, KCVC, on June 22 confirmed that the country was experiencing the second wave of COVID-19. The Korean authorities called on people to improve. Be aware of the risk of spreading dangerous germs in the community. Kimchi country currently has more than 12,400 cases of COVID-19 with 280 patients died. 3. Brazilian news. Brazil has not reached a peak over 7,200 deaths in a week. Brazil currently records 1,106,470 cases, up to 19,480 cases in the past 24 hours, and 51,271 deaths, up 612 cases. Although the COVID-19 epidemic is still very complicated, with a high number of new cases and continuous deaths, experts say that the epidemic has not reached its peak in Brazil, even for comments on that the South American nation is likely to overtake the U.S. to become the country with the highest number of cases in the end of July. According to figures from the Brazilian Ministry of Health, within a week of June 15 to June 21, the country recorded 7,285 deaths from COVID-19, an average of more than 1,000 deaths a day. 4. Chile news. Chile's health ministry said on the same day that the number of positive cases of SARS-CoV-2 virus in the country had reached 246,963 people, an increase of 4,608 cases in the past 24 hours, including 4,502 deaths. As such, Chile has surpassed Italy and is close to Spain in the number of COVID-19 cases. Another remarkable point is that Chile has only 18 million inhabitants, while Italy has 16 million and Spain has 47 million. Chile's health minister said the government had to reintroduce mandatory isolation measures in 3 provinces. 5. German news. In March, the German government surprised public opinion by announcing a bailout package of 1,100 billion euros, about 1,230 billion USD, to implement measures to support the economy, businesses and workers. Then, earlier this month, Berlin said it would inject an additional 130 billion euros into various programs, including cutting value-added taxes, to stimulate the economy. Germany has escaped the economic crisis caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and is currently on the road to recovery. This was stated by German Central Bank Governor Jens Weidmann. 6. French news. France has lifted the blockade since June 22. France has gradually relaxed the national blockade order from May 11 and will enter a new phase of removing the blockade since June 22. Accordingly, theater screening of movies and casinos will reopen. Sports events that attract no more than 5,000 attendees will be allowed. On the same day, French Prime Minister's office Édouard Philippe said the COVID-19 epidemic was spreading faster over the past 10 days in Guyana, French overseas territory, and the government did not rule out the possibility of imposing new blockade orders in here. The notice also stated that the French government will increase more resources to control the disease situation in Guyana. 7. Russian news. The number of infections in Russia continues to rise sharply. On June 22, Russia said that in the past 24 hours, an additional 7,600 cases of COVID-19 had been recorded, bringing the total number of cases in the country to 592,280 cases. The number of deaths increased by 95 people, bringing the total number of deaths to 8,206 people here. 8. England. England installing a semi-automatic mask. These days, the people of London, England can easily find masks at vending machines, installed at subway stations, shopping malls and many other crowded places. The installation of semi-fasten masks to meet the increasing demand for public transport of the people in the context of the British government gradually removing the blockade due to COVID-19 and mandatory wear regulations masks on public vehicles from June 15. 9. New Zealand news. New Zealand renews ban on cruise ships. New Zealand authorities on June 22 extended the ban on cruise ships traveling to the country and tightened the conditions to allow visitors to leave the quarantine area after the country recorded new cases of COVID-19 relating to foreign tourists. New Zealand was one of the first countries in the world to lift all blockade orders after announcing no new cases of COVID-19 in the country, but in recent days recorded a number of new cases. 10. Australian news. Australia, meanwhile, is facing the risk of a second wave of COVID-19 outbreaks after Victoria, the country's second most populous state, recorded 116 new cases in just 1 week. On the morning of June 22, Victorian Health Minister Jenny Mukakos announced an extended statewide emergency for another 4 weeks until July 19. 11. Indian news. India, a sharp increase in new infections. India recorded COVID-19 cases of up to 13,540 cases in the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of cases to 440,450, including 14,015 deaths. Mortality rates in India remain low when compared to countries with similar numbers of cases, but health experts fear that the country's hospitals will be overloaded due to the rapid increase in the number of cases. 12. China news. National vibration. Beijing strengthens testing. On June 22, the Chinese government of Beijing announced it had launched a large-scale search and testing campaign in Beijing's construction sites after finding 3 cases of COVID acute respiratory infection. 19 at 2 city sites. Speaking at a press conference, representatives of the Beijing City's Rural Urban Development and Housing Committee announced that authorities had examined 435 projects in the city and blockaded 2 construction sites. COVID-19. Health authorities also conduct nucleic acid testing for 1,622 people who have been visiting or contacting people involved in the tan fat via wholesale market. Our newsletter is now over. Thank you for always watching and supporting our videos. Knowledge of Coronavirus, Channel and Travel for All Fanpage respectfully, and see you in the next video.